you are about to hear is true. Only the names have been changed.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Please get ready with me while I discuss this new series that I'm going to be doing here on my channel. I've dealt with a lot recently and my whole life, as all of us have. I'm so sorry about that. So right now I'm in a season of life where I'm healing my inner child. That has a lot to do with like choosing my heart, finding my spirituality, and my men's cleanse, staying abstinent. So let's go ahead, discuss everything, and let's get into it. I've decided that me discussing these things publicly, I think is gonna help me, one, keep myself accountable to make sure I'm actually following through on these goals that I'm putting into place for myself. I'm so sorry, by the way, about the background noise. I'm working on getting a mic for just the time being. This is how it is. I live in a populated area, whatever. Not just because this is the new year, new me vibe, but because of all of the stuff that I have put myself through and allowed to happen in my life. I feel like self-care is just an absolute non-negotiable, and therapy is a non-negotiable, and keeping myself protected and accountable is important to me, and that's why I'm going to be making these videos. Since this entire series is about healing our inner child, I'm going to talk about a collection of things throughout this. Today, I'm going to touch on choose your heart, spiritual starvation, and kind of what I'm planning on doing with my life moving forward. I had a coworker recently ask me, Alyssa, how do you do it? How do you balance it all? How do you work 2 jobs and have a son 60% of the time? And now take on like this creative project as well. I see where she's coming from. If you know me personally, you know that I struggle with hyperproductivity, which some people might think that's not a problem. It is. I am kind of a workaholic because I have a fear of poverty, so I don't let myself rest enough. And with that, my immune system probably isn't as good as it can be. My stress level and like cortisol levels are probably higher than they should be. But at the same time, you don't see millionaires just like sitting on their ass getting shit handed to them until they have enough passive income to do so. I watched this one creator named Tay Crumbs. She has been honestly a huge influence to me, pretty life-changing to me personally. She said a lot of stuff that resonates well with me, and I want to share that with you guys today. One of the main things that she talks about is what she calls choose your heart. She didn't invent this. It was like in a book she read that I'm unfamiliar with. I've constructed it my own way to fit into my life, like in a way that is useful and helpful to me. Choosing your heart to me is like, I struggle with my mental health. I've also gone through a lot of trauma. That's the whole reason I'm doing this series. And a lot of it happened at a very young age and is affecting my interpersonal relationships, my work life, my relationship to my son as a mother. Because of that and because of everything I've gone through, like the divorce, recently breaking up with someone who I'm still in love with, like I can sit and sulk and be depressed and be demotivated and not get up and let my depression take me over, right? I can feel sorry for myself, throw myself a pity party, not take my medication, not see my doctor, whatever it may be. Or I can choose every morning to get up and push through, because both are hard. Which heart are you going to choose? What are you going to look at yourself in the mirror and decide and live with? Because ultimately, where we end up in life is due to the decisions that we have made. We reap what we sow. That is just one example of many. You can apply choose your heart to so many situations, whether it be a broad spectrum, like a full lifestyle, like something I just described, or small acts throughout the day. Like I could not do my laundry and then not have the clean clothes and the outfit I want to wear tomorrow, or I could get my ass up and do the laundry. Either way, it's a hard option because I have to choose an outfit I don't want to wear, or I have to get up and put in the work. Now listen, illness or other like economical, environmental factors can allow you to not necessarily be able to do what I'm talking about. So I'm not trying to single anyone in like a different economical status out, people who are struggling with mental illness. But when you are doing the steps and working through what you need to be working through, it comes to a crossroads. You come to a point in time where you either have to buck up and figure it out, or sit there in your misery. And for a really long time, I was comfortable in my misery. And so personally, I'm just talking on my level and my relationship with myself and my own like spirituality and emotional state. And it comes to a point where I had to just pull myself out of the mud. No one is coming to hold your hand, to make sure you're taking your medication. Like, you know what? Maybe you do have a caregiver. I don't know your situation, but I am in full control of my life. And that's something that I have to own and take accountability for. And throughout this process of me like choosing my own hard, I've had to make decisions that not only hurt me, but also destroyed other people in the process. Like, yes, it's great. I'm choosing me. I'm choosing my son. I'm bettering myself. But with doing that, I'm hurting people in the process. I'm leaving people in other chapters of my life behind with their idea that I'm giving up on them, that I'm abandoning them. Growth comes with discomfort. And choosing myself and healing my inner child is a selfish decision. And with that, I've hurt people. And that's a hard that I've chosen. And it's a really, really harsh reality. And it's hurtful. I've shed tears over it. I've talked to my loved ones about it. I journal about it constantly because that hurts me. Never ever do I want to be hurting people the way that I have because I've selfishly chosen myself. That being said, sometimes it's what we have to do. And I think that we want to be able to just stick by people through thick and thin, through whatever the world or God or the universe might throw at us. And sometimes it's just ultimately not the best decision. So right now in life, I'm really struggling a lot with like the decisions I make and how they seriously affect not only me and my son, but like I said, all the other parties involved. And it would be really disgusting of me to not be able to admit that although I'm bettering myself, I've hurt other people in the process. Circling back around, my coworker asking me, how do I do it? For me, excuses are bullshit. I'm gonna be a millionaire. I'm busting my ass. I'm going to reach financial freedom and succeed in all of the goals that I have for myself. I'm gonna help people through that process and better myself and learn from the decisions I've made and hopefully not fuck anyone over anymore in the process of doing so. So that's how I do it. I choose my heart. I wake up every morning and I choose, what's it gonna be today, Alyssa? And I'm really working with myself on consistency because I have bipolar. And so I do experience mood swings, even though I am medicated. And a lot of the times I have to ask myself, like, decisions you're making are gonna affect the entire path in your life. Like, are you making this out of a sound mind or are you acting on emotion? And the recent years, I've gotten a lot better at just being super conscious about those things and asking myself those questions. So productivity wise, that is how I do it. I choose my heart. I choose to not get enough sleep. I choose to overwork myself for the financial and overall payoff of that. Right now in life, that's where I'm at. I'm choosing my heart. Spiritual starvation. I don't know if that's an actual saying, but that is just how I feel. I didn't grow up religious. My parents are, my mom's like an ex-Catholic, and then my dad is not a non-practicing, he was raised Orthodox Jewish, and he's no longer practicing. I was adopted, and one side of my biological family, they're Christians. I'm not sure about the other. And it was really important to my parents, my adoptive parents, that they give my sister and I religious freedom to choose whatever we believe in. But they personally, religion really did them wrong. And so I was allowed to go to church with friends growing up and explore it myself. But my parents didn't give me my own avenue to, kind of go into religion. And they did plant an idea in my head that, this harmed us. It can be harmful. There are a lot of agendas that people have in specific religions, or probably all religions, honestly, that can actually just be unhelpful. And so anyway, I didn't even read the Bible until last year, and I obviously have not read all of it. Like, I started studying it a little bit with my ex-boyfriend's family, like friends from church, and I'm no longer really doing that. I'm kind of exploring it by myself. So part of this journey for me is going to be feeding this spiritual hole that I feel like I have within myself. I feel like I can become a more successful person if I begin to let in something bigger than myself that I believe in actually can take care of me. I do consider like myself spiritual. I do talk to like spirit guides or my angels or whoever is listening to me, but I do sometimes feel like I'm just spiritually flailing, and that's something in upcoming years and this point in time that I want to improve, because I don't like that feeling. I feel like there is something bigger I should be reaching for and searching for and find. And I don't know if that's a religion or if I need to go back to Al-Anon and just kind of like sit in the rooms with other people who have like experienced the trauma of like losing loved ones to addiction and like seeing people go through these horrible things. Because like that is also a big thing that contributes to me not having a spiritual belief, is like the resentment I feel toward like our creator for making people suffer. And it's fucking awful to see the people I love go through such bullshit. So that's like a dilemma, like a moral dilemma I have, like, as well as just certain values I have are never gonna leave. So that's one reason I kind of like can't vibe with religion sometimes, because I have values that the agenda of like Christianity just like doesn't fit with. Like, I don't think premarital sex is wrong. I do think soul ties are a thing, and the trauma you endure sexually in interactions and past relationships with people you do bring in to the next person, and that is harmful. But I don't think that that's like ungodly or wrong. I just think, you know, we have to live with the choices we make. So that's one thing. I also have been with people other than just men, and so I don't think that being attracted to the same sex and gender is wrong. And I'm gonna die on that hill. There's a lot of things that won't change my mind. Same with like women's rights, and I'm pro-choice. So, you know, that's where I really struggle with like trusting in something bigger than me. But I'm looking forward to this year to just figuring out what I believe in and finding something that resonates with me that can like feed my soul in that way, because I do feel spiritually starved. I'm sure that these videos will get more organized and I'll have kind of more bullet points about what I actually want to talk about. They're not always going to be sit down style, by the way. Like, if I'm going to do something related to the healing of my inner child, I do want to make it more of a vlog style, separate from my weekly vlogs, to bring you guys along in like my journey of finding myself. I touched a little bit about how I struggle with serial monogamy in my upcoming vlog, and it's true. Especially the majority of my adult life, I have been in serious relationships. I've come to the point where I'm about to be in my mid-20s, and parts of myself I feel like I don't even know or recognize, and that's a really scary feeling. I'm in the process right now of indefinitely, I'm going to be abstinent for so many reasons. I don't necessarily have a healthy relationship with sex. I think that I might struggle with love addiction, which is something I seriously need to look into. And as I touched on earlier, I have hurt a lot of people in the process of like trying to work through trauma while being in relationships. Like, I should have this entire time focused on myself and been alone so that I could heal the broken wounds that I have inside me that create codependent relationships, that create my behavior in relationships and ultimately affect the other person. Like, I should have healed myself before dragging other people into my life and fucking them up. I think something so important about all of this is addressing the part we play in our interactions with people. I mean, like, as a parent, I'm gonna fuck my son up in some way or another, I'm sure, because in every scenario, there's like a good and bad way, but the tricky thing about life is that not everything is black and white. Honestly, I wish it was. It would be easier that way. But there are so many gray areas. And ultimately, I use that word too much. Gotta widen my vocabulary. We make decisions that can be positive and negative. I'm just trying to learn how to do better. I need to be alone so that I can figure out what I actually want. Do I just want attention? Do I just want people to like me? Do I feel like I need someone with like a savior complex that I can idolize and say, they came around and saved me? I need time to reflect, and I've admitted the parts that I've played in my past. I've apologized for them. That's all I can do on my side of things. So right now I'm in the process of forgiving myself, and it's hard. It's really difficult. It's like nobody wants to admit they fucked up or they're wrong. And another thing that's so tricky, dude, is that like two things can be true at the same time. You can feel like I unconditionally love this person, but this is unhealthy for both of us. And the longer I do this, the worse it's gonna get. Like, two things can be true at the same time. I had love for my ex-husband, but I was being abused in the relationship, and that was gonna affect my son. So even though I had a family with this person, I brought a child into this world. He saved me from a point in my life where I don't even know what would have happened if I didn't meet him. Even though that's the case, I still chose to leave because our relationship was terrible. It was toxic. It was horrible. It was something that I didn't even realize I didn't want until I saw our son come into the mix, and I was like, holy shit, if he grows up seeing this dynamic, it's gonna cause irreparable damage. That was another scenario in which I just chose my heart, because I have just put myself through the fucking ringer. Like, for such a long time, I held resentment, and I'm not like doing that in my most recent breakup, because resentment is fucking terrible. That is one of the main things that causes you to like fall back into addiction or like be so angry all the time, is like having resentment towards like a person or situation or whatever it may be. And for the longest time, I had so much resentment towards my ex-husband, and it's starting to go away because I'm realizing like I need to just forgive myself and admit the part I played, because I allowed that to happen. And that's a very common theme that I've seen in friendships and relationships my entire life, is like I will allow shit to go on and lie to myself and shapeshift for people and not be honest with them. And it's a disservice to them what I'm doing. It's harmful to them. And I allow it to keep happening. I allow myself to fall back into these same patterns. I allow myself to be hurt and hurt people. That's the part I'm playing. It's enabling behavior. I feel like all the time I'm surrounded by addicts. My biological family, they're addicts. They've really negatively affected me in life, even though it has at the same time been a blessing that I can have a relationship with them. That's caused irreparable damage. And my ex-husband is like a recovering addict. So, you know, he's doing the work and everything, but I just feel like I've been surrounded by it a lot of times in my life. And a big part that they talk about in AA is just admitting the part you played, because that's one of the first steps in breaking the behaviors and moving on and healing. And all we can do is apologize, mean it, not continue to just plow through life, fucking over everybody and everything that we see and touch, and do better next time. So that is what I'm working on right now. As a subscriber, please let me know if there are certain topics in this series you want me to cover. I think next week I'm gonna have some questions from my Instagram followers that I'll answer about this topic, you know, healing my inner child. I really want to take you guys along with me in this, and I hope that some things that I said are helpful or resonate with people or inspire people watching to remove themselves from harmful situations, but also not always be playing the victim card. Take accountability with the parts that you play, because nobody is innocent. There are always several sides to a story. Decisions we make follow us always. Everything is connected. That's my take. I don't curl my lashes, and I see a lot of women doing that. I wonder if it would be worth it and make like a big difference. Oh my god. Oh my god, ignore the mess I just made on my face. Lay my edges. Cute. I feel grateful that I'm making positive changes, but it's just really bizarre like doing this alone. I struggle so much with codependency. It's just so weird to like basically be starting from scratch. At the same time, I like the vibe. I fuck with it. What is wrong with me? Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I look forward to this journey, and please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.